Another week, another batch of film news. Let's get it. Okay, so this feels like almost a weekly update coming from Lucky, but yeah, let's get to it. According to a seminar held by Lucky Film in the Taijin Academy of Fine Arts, I'm hoping I said that right, this past week we had a whole slew of information, and it reads as the following. Regarding the newly produced Lucky 200 color negative film, the first production batch had some minor coding defects. Because of this, the entire first batch was used to produce 135 format cartridges, totaling over 10,000 rolls. Lucky Film plans to start its second production batch as early as August, which will include both 135 and 120 formats. Depending on the situation, subsequent decisions will be made on whether to adjust the substrate thickness to enable production of 4x5 and 8x10 sheet film formats. There are currently no plans for producing bulk film in the short term. Lucky claims to have resolved supply chain issues for over 100 raw materials used in production, achieving full domestic sourcing within China. They also have stated that they will not halt color film production again in the future. Furthermore, Lucky is collaborating with photography departments at major art academies across China to promote the use of film photography in education. This includes organizing photography exhibitions, competitions, and related activities. Due to the recent spell of overcast and rainy weather across mainland China, many photographers who received test rolls have only been able to shoot under cloudy skies or indoors. This has resulted in the first batch of publicly shared test photos appearing underexposed or with color casts. We can look forward to seeing the results from photographers in various locations after the official sales launch on July 17th. Regarding reversal film, Lucky states that there are currently no technical or raw material barriers. The decision to potentially produce movie-positive film stock or reintroduce the former Lucky 100HC will depend on market response. Updates on this are expected within this year. Regarding instant peel-apart film, like Fuji FP100C, development of a black and white version is underway, but there are still technical changes to overcome for a color version. And finally, regarding integral instant film like FujiFilm Instax or Polaroid, Lucky currently has no development plans for that. Now, obviously, this is great news, not on the fact that they got some minor defects in the first 10,000 rolls, but more so for the fact that they are obviously dedicated to making this correct. Also, instant peel-apart film would be so awesome. Bringing back something like FP100C for not absorbent prices would be amazing. Plus, the slide film sounds great too. For us in the US, which I know it's not like this everywhere, but for us, Ektachrome is pretty much the only slide film you can get consistently. So a new film in that character selection screen would be quite nice, to say the least. I also personally like the other Fuji slide films better, so I'm curious to see what comes of that. We also got what I'm assuming is the final release date and price for Lucky Film from Reflex. Like we just saw, is available to purchase on July 17th for $7. But this can be expected to be much cheaper in China, which is obviously great news, especially for Chinese film shooters. Kodak historically has not been super cheap in countries outside of the US, and especially now with the tariffs, having a reliable, cheap color film stock available is a huge come up for Eastern Hemisphere shooters. We also got some photo examples from a bunch of different Chinese labs and photographers, which you've seen up on screen during that long blog post, but I sourced these independently and they weren't necessarily or specifically shared by Lucky, which I thought was interesting. To me, these honestly look really good. The colors and contrast look great, and I'm really eager to get my hands on some in the coming weeks to shoot for you guys. I'll link the articles and whatever else that we talk about in this video down in the description below, so make sure you check those out. Also, I want to take the time to like and subscribe the video to stay up to date with film news, and helps me out more than you guys would ever know. Next up, we got an update from FujiFilm and their Aurora 800 film. My buddy Tommy got an email from them, and it reads as the following. Hi Tommy, we have no anticipated ETA for Aurora 800 as the ongoing tariff questions leave us reluctant to invest the money on a product that could be too expensive in the US. Once things get back to normal, we will be in touch with the supplier to see what current pricing is and decide whether to bring it back. I shot a handful of rolls of this and made a video, and honestly really enjoyed the film, especially being an affordable 800 speed color film. For many places outside of the US, this was amazing. I question how much of this will impact FujiFilm in general, as to my knowledge a lot of their film is respooled Kodak film, so I would imagine the tariffs are not helping them one bit, which is obviously a bummer. We also recently got an update from FujiFilm, which dismantles a lot of my excitement, and I'm guessing your excitement, from news from a couple weeks ago. Fuji had recently updated their website, including many of their film data and information pages, leading to speculation that perhaps we would be getting FujiFilm film back. However, Fuji recently came out and told Petapixel that they are indeed not bringing back our beloved Pro 400H or other film stocks. While I do think this was a lot of hoping and dreaming, the thought of Fuji bringing some film back isn't a total shot in the dark, as we did see Acros 2 come back in 2019, but sadly that may be all we ever see come back for old Fuji. Honestly, kind of surprised they commented at all. Fuji seems to have just left film behind entirely. Sort of like a dad leaving to get milk, only to find a younger, hotter wife with a son who doesn't partake in a niche, stupid-ass hobby like playing with 40-year-old cameras. I'm sorry. I sort of thought Fuji would leave us to lust and wonder about what this could mean, but thankfully they've at least come out and given us some closure at the very least. I mean, look at their recent releases with cameras. It's clear as day that they're full on leaning into the digital cameras and their film emulations, which bums me out, but it is what it is, I guess. That being said, I did see some random orders of Provia 100F are being fulfilled from over 200 years ago. That would be wild. From over 2 years ago. I guess maybe the silver lining from this portion of the news is that Fuji slide film will hopefully be more available worldwide, but I don't know. I'm not going to hold my breath. A couple weeks ago, Cinestill teased what we thought was going to be color positive film, but it ended up being just a free color conversion app for film. I don't know. The way they tease it and just the wording they use leaves me with quite a bit of disappointment, to be completely honest. Cinestill just seems to be obtusely unaware of the point of view of a consumer, which is kind of mind-boggling considering it's a small company started by guys who shoot film, but I don't know. Now, before I dog on them too much, the app is free, which is certainly commendable, but also a bit surprising for Cinestill, to be honest. One of my buddies from back home gave it a test and compared it to Negative Lab Pro, and honestly, while yes, it is free, the results aren't super inspiring, to be honest. If you're scanning at home, I'm assuming you're pretty deep into the hobby, so not using something like Negative Lab Pro would be sort of silly. Going through all these steps yourself to not maximize your negatives for really not that much money seems silly, so I'm not sure the market or the type of hype for this app. My buddy also had a couple gripes, which I'll throw on screen here, but I don't want to spend too much time hashing it out. The general consensus isn't great, and like I said, that's not that surprising from Cinestill. All this hype and specifically curated nomenclature, or I guess lack thereof, some awareness when it comes to their words, just to release some Lightroom presets, I don't know. Doesn't tickle my fancy, and honestly seems quite on brand for how Cinestill has been kind of carving out their brand the last couple years. Lots of disappointment this week, but hey, gotta take the good with the bad, and that's what we're doing. We also got a new film from Kono, which from what I can understand is basically just NC200, the same film from Optic Old School. Kind of a bummer that the owners aren't being super transparent about what it is. Quote, "This stands as a testament to the passion and skill behind analog photography, inviting creators to continue capturing moments with authenticity, depth, and a splash of fun. This brand new color emulsion, developed by our trusted long-standing partner in Germany, is spooled and packaged at the Kono manufacturer using our own self-designed, self-built machinery. Thanks to this unique setup, we're proud to be the first to offer it to you, a true global first." A true global first. Sure. I don't really care for a lot of this marketing jargon when it comes to stuff like this. I think just being transparent and explaining how you're offering NC200 to your specific local market for a cheaper cost because you're doing a lot of the labor yourself. I don't know. To me, that feels like the more ethical way to go about it versus trying to like sell it under the guise of being a new film not offered anywhere. But I don't know. I'm not in film sales yet. Just kidding. Okay, I also got news, which is why you're seeing me here, that Mr. Negative Film is coming out with 2 new films. And while I currently don't really know what they are, I actually talked to the owner and he suggested that they aren't Vision 3. So I'd be curious to know what they are. Obviously, when I talked to him for his best interest, which kind of opened my mind to this, he didn't want to share what it was because of the fear of like Kodak suing them or lashing back, especially with the current news of respooled film. So yeah, it kind of opened my mind to, I guess, a different point of view, especially when it comes to, you know, these lab owners who have businesses and are trying to pay their bills essentially. But yeah, the new film looks cool. Mixture Negative Film does a great job with the branding. I think they have genuinely some of the best boxes when it comes to packaging film, and I think that this is definitely no exception. I'm getting some sent my way, so I'll be shooting some in the near future to showcase to you guys, so stay tuned for that. And okay, and last up for a relatively slow week of news is a rare and historically significant Emerson Victorian Photobook, long forgotten in a Maryland closet, is set to go up for auction this week in London and is expected to fetch nearly $67,000. Better start getting your photos compiled and ready for your death so your children's children can profit off photos of shrinking land and evaporating women's rights. Just kidding, that's only an issue we face in modern America. But But in all seriousness, the book Life and Landscape on the Norfolk Broads by pioneering photographer Peter Henry Emerson was found wrapped in brown paper by the 98-year-old owner's family following a house clearance and is believed to have been purchased at a yard sale years earlier. As reported by Fine Books and Collections magazine, the Emerson volume, one of only 25 deluxe first editions produced in 1886, will be offered up for sale on July 10th. The Photobook is widely regarded as a milestone in the development of photography as a fine art, and some have described this as the world's first coffee table photography book. Peter Henry Emerson, born in Cuba and later based in England, played a formative role in the evolution of photography during the late 19th century. Between 1885 and 1895, he photographed the rural landscapes and people of East Anglia, particularly the Norfolk Broads, with a style that blended realism and artistic composition. His images were paired with text and illustrations by British artist Thomas Frederick Goodall, resulting in an ambitious publication. Needless to say, his images are amazing, especially for a time of pretty much unknown photography techniques or tactics other than just paintings. It's also amazing to see how differently people lived at this time and how it was only 100 or some years ago. Send some super chats or donations and maybe I'll pick it up for the channel and go through it. Just kidding, 67K is crazy and we could do a lot more with that. Obviously, it also belongs in a Smithsonian or some type of museum, not my shelf in the back. Now, what I'm curious is what makes this photo book worth 67K, as there's history of documented photo books, specifically in Japan from before 1886. So I'm curious what makes this one so expensive. I'm not going to judge too much as I don't know the full context of it, but I am curious if I compile the photo book, if in 100 years from now, solely based off the historical significance of the book, it would be worth thousands of dollars. Probably not, because my work is not nearly that good, and there's thousands of photographers versus in 1886. There certainly was probably not as many. I don't know, I'm being a little facetious, but I found it interesting nonetheless. And like I said, it's been a pretty slow week otherwise. That's gonna wrap it up for this one, guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the news. And until the next one, stay safe, stay shooting, and yeah, see you in the next video.